Hi, I'm Bren.
Oh boy.
I don't.
Where did you?
That's not,
you just jumped out off a cliff.
That's more
just
Irish.
now.
Irish.
Well, because the St. Patrick's Day just happened.
But
So you're still stuck.
French
I know. I'm a
movie?
little
There we go.
French
There we
movie.
go now.
Okay, how about this?
Yes, oui, oui.
How about this? Cheers, my Lucky Charms.
Oh boy.
They're always after me.
I
Lucky
love Hallmark
Charms.
movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark
I
movies.
despise Hallmark movies. This is the
Thanks to Hallmark podcast.
Oui, oui. I'm Dan, by the way.
It's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, hello,
Oh,
everybody.
boy.
How are we?
Great.
So good.
Tuesday. Guys,
Super Tuesday?
I'm still
That was a few weeks ago.
Okay. Yep.
I'm still feeling that St. Patty's party we went to over the weekend.
Oh, we
Well, I
went
was in
out?
England. You guys went.
Yeah, it was nuts,
It was
dude.
crazy.
Found my
you got-
pot of
Yeah,
gold.
you got out of
We
hand.
went into the. We went. Yeah, go ahead. Hi, Aaron.
We threw
hello.
the party at Dan's house.
We threw the party at Dan's house.
yeah,
I thought we were going to
And
tell him.
Dan, we had a giant bowl made, filled it with Lucky Charms
Yep.
Lucky
and
Charms.
milk, and we all got in.
No, it
We
wasn't.
Cow milk.
invited
It
people.
was just straight his pool. Like,
Yeah.
we filled his pool with
That's
Lucky
We
Charms.
opened it
impressive.
up.
The pool's like
Drained it.
covered.
Yeah, we opened it up,
You got the tools out.
drained it. We did not know. We
They're
cut
right where
it.
you
We
left
cut
them.
it open.
Cut it open.
Machete
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
Drained it.
Perfect.
Filled it with milk.
Lucky
You
Charms.
spent-
Lucky
you
Charms.
spent quite a deal of money on Lucky Charms.
There
It's
was
a
a sale,
write-off.
though.
It was a
Yeah,
write-off.
yeah,
Oh,
100%.
the business.
Yeah. Don't look at their credit card
Man,
statement.
Yes.
wow.
Yeah.
Man, what a weekend.
It
to
was
be, for me to
wild.
be
We
in
invited
England.
everybody. We had so much fun, and so it was a good St. Patty's Day.
Good. But you're still. What you're saying is you're still like on the up and up,
yeah.
on the mend. If you
I'm
will.
still in the mend. I had a lot of Lucky Charms.
Yeah, that'll get you.
Yeah.
Do you find any
when
cabbage
Brand
in your
gets-
ceiling tiles? And
When Brand gets Lucky Charms drunk, it is boy
it's a special kind
I
of
love Lucky
that
Charms.
accent
man.
that he does then is offensive.
It is. I can't. We have a clip, but I can't. I won't.
I no
I can't
longer
play.
I can't I don't let my
get
kids
sued.
have Lucky Charms as a cereal choice for breakfast anymore because they just pick out the marshmallows and I just am like you're gonna need something that's not
Yeah,
marshmallows.
it takes a few years. You got to live
In my
a little while.
experience, you don't.
You don't need
I
them.
think you can. You can.
If you buy enough boxes of
Who
Lucky
was
Charms,
somebody?
you can be all mallow.
Somebody sent in just a bag of marshmallows. This was months ago, and I ate it in a day. It was.
I didn't even
knocked it
know
out.
about it.
No, I didn't either.
No one else needs to know. I know you don't care.
No.
You don't like them.
No.
Wasn't planning
like
on
those
eating
dried
them all.
marshmallows.
Yeah, he doesn't
are
like them.
disgusting.
Lucky Charms
Can I
are
tell you a
good.
fun story about Lucky Charms?
Go ahead. Oh, Aaron Cam.
Yeah, Aaron Cam. Like the Eagle Cam.
I know. I know. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Aaron.
Hi. So growing up, my brother would always wake up earlier than me.
Yes.
And he would pour himself a bowl of Lucky Charms or whatever sugary cereal with marshmallows and whatnot.
There's another one
But he,
Well, like a
I don't know,
knockoff.
there's- Whatever.
for Fortunate
But
Sam's.
he would just eat all the marshmallows out.
Yeah.
And then pour the cereal back in.
Okay.
does it
Oh
So-
wow!
So
What
then
a
when
move!
I would wake up,
That's dirty.
What a
I would
move!
pour the cereal. I'd be like, so weird.
Aaron's
There's like
brother
2 marshmallows.
owes Aaron several.
Yeah, that's
boxes
messed up,
of
man.
Lucky Charms.
It wasn't done. I mean, he was younger. It wasn't intentional. He was just like, all right, I'm not going to eat
Yeah.
this. Save it for later. And then I would just.
That's like
The
in and
innocence of a
miss all the
child.
marshmallows.
Yeah.
my kids are starting to get into sushi, and they'll ask for a piece of sushi, and they'll eat the top of the sushi off and hand me the rice back. And I'm like, bro, that's
Thanks.
Well, now I will say, and I do think that this was pretty mature of me.
not pretty
As-
mature of you.
Pretty mature of me.
Okay.
Manure of you?
Say it right. Mature. It was pretty mature of me. I would pull myself a bowl of Lucky Charms.
Puree.
And I would sometimes, if I was feeling saucy,
Popcorn.
I would not put milk in it.
What?
And I would just pick out all the marshmallows.
Uh-huh.
Then I'd pour a little bit of milk in, eat the cereal part, and then smush the marshmallows together into one giant marshmallow ball.
Yeah.
And then I'd pop that ball right in my mouth.
That is disgusting.
Just like sitting there with it in your cheek. That's
you have done a
gross.
lot of disgusting.
Why is that
things.
disgusting?
That's gross.
It's so gross.
Why is that
Like
disgusting?
warm up the
You're
marshmallows.
pressing your hands
Yeah,
all
make it into
over
a
the
big ball.
marshmallow?
Make
so
it into a big
weird.
ball.
God, I
That's
don't like
weird.
It was
that at all.
pre-COVID.
No. Oh, Oh, well, in that case, I'm
That's a
game.
weird move, man.
Okay, here's one other thing I used to do
Pretty
involving
mature.
involving. Apparently, I had a
ball?
thing for creating balls.
Summer balls.
At when you were a kid at lunch, I don't know if
Probably not,
but you had a
Doubt
roll. Did you ever get a roll?
Of what?
You guys know bread?
Yeah.
You guys know about bread?
You guys know about cookies?
Yes,
Yes.
a roll. Yes.
A dinner roll, a lunch
dinner
roll.
roll.
Sure.
Dinner roll.
So for some reason, and now looking back, this is.
Oh, no. Is it going to be worse than the big,
All right, I'm not
big
gonna-
ball
I-
You
mouth?
dig
I
it
don't
out, so
need
you
to-
dig out the middle.
I don't need
What
to.
would you put in there?
Chocolate milk.
What?
Yeah, I'd make it into a bread ball and I'd dip it in chocolate milk.
How are you still alive?
How would you? The chocolate milk's in a carton?
Yeah, I'd pour some of it onto the tray.
On the tray. Yeah. Okay.
On the tray.
That's a good
You
question.
started COVID. Whatever you did in the cafeteria is directly linked to COVID.
He's got a cheek full of marshmallows. He's emptying his chocolate
Chocolate
milk
milk
into the
onto a
tray.
cafeteria
Yeah.
tray and bread bowl style dipping. The dude, you're what every European thinks of Americans.
This should be the meal we serve at Bramble
This
Bread.
is all-
you do not understand French cuisine.
All I'm gonna say
you
this.
get your bread and dip it in the chocolate milk on the tray.
People might think it's gross. I
Yes.
say
is.
I'm a trailblazer. I say before before sushi became something that people did. I'm sure people were
I
like,
don't-
"Oh, you're eating
long.
raw.
So
you're
old.
eating raw fish."
Sushi is something that people have done for
Thousands,
I-
maybe?
But at one point they didn't. At one point they
Yes.
did not.
Right.
And there was some weirdo.
I gotta
there
be
was
honest.
some weirdo at some point
You're
that
comparing
got
yourself-
the fish
It's the
and
worst.
said, "I'm
No,
not gonna cook it.
It's the worst.
I'm going to eat it."
This is the worst possible example because I'm pretty sure for all of humanity, people have eaten raw fish.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure since
Probably before they cooked it.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure since the first man, however you believe that origin story
Let's do
happens.
something else.
Raw fish is a bad example. Do better. Pizza, I don't know. Pick something else.
Yeah. Anything else?
Pasta.
So think about
Yeah, what you say.
about food.
Yeah.
At some point,
Somebody
it
did it
wasn't.
first.
They did it first, and I'm
Yeah.
sure people looked at them and said, "Ew," and then they tried
And
it.
I'm surprised
Ew.
the cafeteria tray chocolate milk roll bread bowl has not caught on.
Next week, I'm gonna bring us in a roll and some chocolate milk, and we can all try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
I'll try it.
If you don't like it, you don't like it. But all I'm saying is try new things.
You can try
You
it.
can't.
The fact that you are giving a lecture on trying new foods is
I have been trying a lot
right.
this year. Thank
You've
you very
been doing
much.
a great job, but still, this is crazy.
Crimes of fashion.
Colon.
That's what we're talking about. Colon. Killer Clutch. Got to be honest, disappointed by the. I guess. Whatever. We'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll
It
get
is a killer. Yes,
it is a
killer.
clutch.
Several
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
several.
okay. Yeah.
They drop the clutch. It's got all the things
right,
in it.
you're right, you're
There's
right.
also the counterfeit clutches. Yeah.
I think of the counterfeit clutches though as more of a box, but it is a clutch. It is definitely a clutch.
It's a clutch.
It's a
we
hard.
know clutches. No one knows clutches
Yeah.
or
No
trying new
one
foods
knows.
better than
No one knows.
Brandon.
March 15th, 2024 is when it originally premiered. It went a little something like this. We're in Paris. Oui, oui. We
Are you
see.
singing there? We're in Perry.
Oui, oui. And we see a woman jump through a warehouse window. Someone is shooting at her from behind. She falls down, and the person comes up, looks at her. I mean, I think he's blurry, but looks at her, holds the gun up, and boom!
Gunshot.
That's exactly right. Smoke fills the screen, and we cut to 2 weeks earlier. That same woman is walking through Central Park with her dad. Her name is Lauren. She is a psychologist.
Sometimes it gets you choked up.
Yeah, I love therapy. BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.com.
She's a psychologist, and she's about to have her first session with a fashion designer, a famous fashion designer named Virgil St. James, Rebecca's brother. And
times have not been kind.
no. And so, he's very stressed about this upcoming fashion show that he has. And so she's going to go in and try to calm him down. And she does just that. she crushes it. She's amazing. And he says, you know what? You're coming with me. Because in case I'm having another one of these breakdowns, I'm going to need you by my side to talk me down, to help me. And I love that. And so she's nervous. She's a little hesitant at first, but she says yes. And she arrives in Paris. She's taking it all in. She's learning about, counterfeits, as we talked about, counterfeits, and all sorts of other stuff. And she's just watching this one guy who is very mean and is grumpy, and we all know his name, and we're all going to say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Nadine.
So take all that in and just know that guy, he's going to die. Spoiler alert.
He's dead.
It's time for the fashion show, and this is exciting because this is a chance for Virgil to really showcase all of his new stuff.
That's right.
And people are there. This lady who runs this big fashion magazine is there, who, 1, 2, 3... they got an argument earlier. There's all sorts of people that are excited for this fashion show. And right before the show begins, we see Virgil put a brooch, if you will, on one of the models. And this means that she's wearing the spotlight dress, the real showcase. And it's a big honor.
Dress
it's a big honor.
in the spotlight.
Having a real good time.
I'm pretty sure that this brooch won't come back in any way, shape, or form.
We won't broach that subject again.
Man, if you were a ball of bread, I'd dunk you right in that chocolate milk. I'd eat you right up.
I'd let you.
That's how much I love that. I bet you would.
What'd you do with the middle of the bread bowl that you pulled out? Do you
Put
eat
it
that
in
part?
Lucky Charms.
No, I'd eat the whole bread.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't hollow it out. You were thinking hollow it out.
Yeah. No,
Something's gonna sop up all that chocolate milk.
It was a soft bread. Like no hard parts.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Next
you.
time we go to a restaurant where they bring bread, can you ask for a side of milk?
Maybe tonight.
Can you bring me your finest chocolate?
Yeah.
Chocolate milk. But if I could get a chocolate martini, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Breadsticks and a chocolate martini.
I would
Choco martini.
No, not a breadstick because that's got too much seasoning.
Yeah, no, you want
The
that bread.
dinner roll that's
bread.
just like
Plain bread.
Yeah, 100%.
In your chocolate martini.
Guys, I don't think this is as crazy. Hallmark.com. If you've ever
I'm
dunked your
emailing
bread,
you right now.
Listen, I love a tres leches cake, which is cake covered in milk, soaked in milk.
100%.
It's not that it.
You're having a hard
I
time
think
with
we
this.
have to try it to
You're having a
understand
hard time with this for no reason.
It's the tray. It's why I'm having a hard time
the
with
plastic
it.
tray.
Oh, the
You
tray?
poured carton milk onto a cafeteria tray and then rubbed bread around it and ate it, buddy. That isn't good.
It's a styrofoam tray. It's not like a reusable one.
Oh, okay. Well, it's
I thought it
still
was a
not
plastic.
great, but
Okay.
I thought it was
No.
a plastic.
So did
No,
boy.
styrofoam.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we had.
Yeah.
No, like you dunk anything in milk, like any sort of carbon milk, it's not going to taste terrible.
No.
I'm not. That's not why it was disgusting to me. I want to be very clear. I wouldn't.
Daggum.
Look at us
Man,
now.
the tables have turned.
Well,
Look at us. Look at me. Look at you. So the show's a big success. Virgil St. James comes up, gives a speech, and that's where we hear a scream. Go, Aaron! Scream! Thank you. One more time. Thank you. We hear 2 screams. Just like that. It's
second
pretty,
scream didn't sound super
honestly, pretty
motivated.
amazing when we got that clip. Can you play it one more time, Aaron?
Nope, she cannot.
Aaron, one more time if you could just go ahead.
Stop,
And
Aaron.
Go ahead. Thank you, Aaron. And when the camera pans up, there's like a second story, but it's fully exposed. You can see it. I'm just trying to paint the picture.
Fully exposed.
Fully exposed
Like
second
this
story.
brand's chocolate milk.
And pans up, and we see Lauren's best friend Charlotte is standing over what we assume is a dead body, based off of the scream. Again, it sounded a little something like this. Thank you. And she's standing right over this dead body, the dead body of the guy that we all know. In 3, 2, 1,
Jean-Valjean.
and he's dead. He's dead. There's a what is that exactly?
A hair tie
yes,
thing.
very sharp, and it's just straight
Yeah.
through the back. It's went, I think, through the back.
Yeah, like a hair clip. I think.
Yeah, hair clip.
I don't think it's a hair clip. It's something that they design dress it. Like you can cut with it. Like they design
okay.
like shears.
Sure. No, they weren't
No, no,
scissors.
no.
They
No.
were like hold stuff in place things.
But they're not clips.
No, it
It's
wasn't
not like a hair
clip.
clip.
No, but it was like you
No,
put
it looks like
something
it
into
was
it.
like a. kind of like a diamond, and there's 2 holes in the middle.
It
So
actually
There's a
if you
lot
could-
of people listening who are shouting out what this is.
We're not going to read
Aaron's not
those.
seen the movie, so she would have helped us here.
yeah,
So there
It
you
looks a
go.
lot like a weapon, not so much
He
like what
did.
that he said.
Stab.
it was.
he's dead. The guy we
No
all
more
know him, we
Jean
love
Mapelle.
him.
Yeah. He did.
Definitely was on IMDb. We knew his name and everything. So Charlotte gets arrested on suspicion. She had
Absolutely.
a bag full of these
Weapons.
of personal destruction. And so she tells Lauren, hey, I saw someone coming down the stairs right before I went up. So I don't know who it was, but it could be that they done did it. She brings this information to the Detective Andre, who we meet, and we're not upset about it. And along with some other stuff that she's figured out, and he's like, wow, you're good. Keep this going. I got to be honest with you. The police here in Paris, slow as molasses. If you could do us a favor and keep looking into this, that'd be really great for us. So she does just that. She's that kind of allows her to constantly be in contact with Andre, hanging out with Andre, getting to know Andre. They have a scene where they get dressed up together, and it's like, oh boy, stuff like that. Another person is found dead. They assume self-inflicted. Not so sure.
Just keep coming.
And listen, either is Lauren, because Lauren sneaks in after the fact, finds a USB drive on the back of a picture frame, pops that in, finds an address, goes to this address, and it is the warehouse from the beginning. And inside this warehouse is a ton of counterfeits. We were talking about counterfeits at the
killer
beginning.
clutches.
It's been a big problem, these counterfeits. And the guy who died, he was not about these counterfeits.
He wasn't
about this counterfeit life.
No.
We wanted to make sure that we got to the bottom of this. So she says, hey, I think that whoever is in charge of this warehouse that's doing these counterfeits probably is responsible for the murder. So the police, found the time in their busy schedule
Yeah, had lunch
to
then.
Of course.
croissant,
Yeah.
shows up, and everything's gone. The counterfeits, they're all gone.
Just
and they're
like
like,
that.
what can you do?
Overnight. How?
On the lease for the building, though, is the signature to Virgil St. James' biggest
Bible.
rival,
Yeah.
Dolce.
Dolce
Not
And-
Gabbana.
Maria. And they
Case
bring
solved.
Dolce in, and Dolce's like, it's a forgery. And they're like, well, he says it, and so
said
it must be.
It must be, yeah.
There's nothing that we can do. And so
Deny all of it.
she decides that she's going to head back to the warehouse because there must be something there. Like, they can't just move everything out. There has to be something there that would give us some sort of information. And she discovers a door that says danger.
Danger!
Get out of here.
Watch yourself.
I think it says danger.
There's a dog!
There's a dog out in here. I think is what it says
It does,
in
yes.
French. And she says, well, I like dogs. So she opens up the door, and she realizes that behind this door
Gunshot.
is staircase. She goes down the staircase. She sees boxes and boxes and boxes of counterfeits.
Killer clutches.
Clutches.
Uh-oh, those
Uh-oh.
clutches are killer. She then also discovers the brooch
Oh.
that Virgil St. James would put on every final showcase.
Thought we were done with the brooch.
War II.
And she looks at it, picks it up, and that's when Virgil St. James says those words we all know. Oui, oui. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's there. He says something,
We're in a
and
trench coat.
she's
Yeah.
like, he's like, come back up here. She gives him the brooch, and kind of talking about why he basically admits to it and why he did it. Apparently, he started making counterfeits after not getting this big thing. Like, he kind of decided this would be a way to do stuff. And the guy who died in 3, 2, 1,
Don't know
Jorge.
Miss
he found out,
Jorge, how dare you?
approached him, and that's when obviously Virgil was like, well, he knows about it. He's threatening to go to the police. I gotta end this, and that's why he did that. And she like does some psychology stuff here, calms him down with just enough time for her to push a bunch of barrels on him, like the game of Donkey Kong. And so she then jumps through the warehouse windows, as we saw at the beginning of this movie. Boom, boom, gunshot, gunshot. And she's on the ground, and just as he is about to pull the trigger, boom, hit by a car. Andre's there. Not gunshot at all. Andre is there, arrests him. Charlotte is released. We love that. And I think she's going to stay in Paris for a while. And Andre's not upset about that. And they walk away to eat some croissants. And that, my friends, was Crimes of Fashion Killer Clutch.
We did it aside from Brian.
Yeah,
He didn't say the subtitle at all.
You got held up
taking
on
a
the
half day. You taking a half day
semicolon
today,
in
Brian?
there. No, full day.
He's taking a half day.
Oh, I just half
Just
day.
no subtitle day.
right.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down with 4 segments here on
Deck
the Hallmark.
Yeah, I see what you're doing now. This is I get it. You want to take a half day, but why not just do the first half with us?
First half of the show?
and then leave.
I want to experience a little bit of everything.
Okay. You want to just have a little dip your toe in.
Yeah.
But you don't
You
get
dip
that
your roll in
time
the
back.
chocolate
You
milk,
still have
if
to
you will.
sit here
Yeah.
during it.
Yeah, but I'm in my thoughts the other
Yeah,
part of the
he's taking
time.
a mental half.
Yeah, it's
Fair enough.
mostly just for a mental break.
Well, I think you were actually telling me that you were thinking about all the possible things you could watch on Philo later, which was crazy.
Yeah. The cooking show, the basketball cooking show,
Yeah.
and
Like you're not sure that's the word.
75 other-ish shows, channels. Yeah, the Escape to the Mountain show.
Come on.
Down the Swamp show. All
Lot
the
of
stuff.
These sound like all
These
things
are
we
not
talked about on the
Philo Deep Dive.
These are
That's
not the
where I
real
get my
names of any of
tips.
these shows.
No,
That's
they're
where
not.
you get all the
If you
tips.
look up down in the
But
Swamp show, you may get there. You
I
may
think
not.
you might. The
figure it
Philo
out.
search tab is
Pretty good.
It'll get you
pretty
there.
darn good.
It'll
It
get you
can
there.
figure it out. Philo.tv/DTH. You can watch Philo Deep Dive, hear about all these shows that Brian's talking about, and you can watch us do this show. In case you're listening while you're driving down the road and you think this looks fun. I mean, it sounds fun. Does it look as good
Is
as
it
it
as
sounds?
fun as it
Sounds? Does it
does it
look
look as fun as it sounds?
It's time for the hot take. It is where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back. And I'm going to start with you, Brian. I don't think you can take this segment
Right.
off.
No,
at
no,
least
no,
for
no.
a
You need to
particular part.
participate the entire time right now.
full participation.
What did you think about the newest
Yeah, the latest,
Hallmark mystery from the new network,
Brand new
Hallmark
network.
Mysteries?
Of course. That we all, yes, of course.
What'd you think about it?
Yeah. I thought it had a lot more action than I was expecting. It was kind of exciting. The jumping through the glass, the gunshots, that stuff threw me off. I was not expecting that. So I didn't see the killer coming. I didn't see that. That was a mystery to me throughout. I guessed 2 different people. I was wrong on both accounts. Never guessed this killer. So in that sense, it wins, I guess. So mysteries 2, me 0 in the last 2 weeks.
There you go.
Mysteries 2, you 0.
They sort of trick you a little bit. Not knowing a lot about France and the legal system. Not like, do you need a lawyer in France? I don't know. It doesn't look like you need a lawyer in France, but I don't know if that's true or not. Do you need an interrogation room in France? It doesn't look like it.
It does not look that
I don't
way.
think you need that.
Doesn't
Do you
appear that
need
way.
jail cells in France? I don't think you do.
just a
So that's a
spiral
little
building.
different. Do you need surveillance over the whole community just so you can capture everything that everybody does on video? I don't think you need that in France because they don't have anything like that.
No.
So they tricked me a little bit in that sense where I just have to take them for their word. They don't need lawyers or interrogation rooms. So pretty interesting mystery, I would say.
You gotta keep
Interesting.
going. You're not done
Yeah,
yet.
and so I had a fun time. It was tough to understand everything. Like we joked about a little bit. Like we complain when they're in another country and it's all just
That's
plain
Canadians,
English.
yes.
And when they do make an effort to have local people who speak French and who are speaking English for our sake, it's difficult as well. So it's like, what can you do? Except they put on a really good effort in this, though. They were over there. They're really trying to put on a good mystery. And yeah, so I thought it was pretty well done. Pretty good time.
I agree with you, Brian. I thought that this was a solid outing. I thought all of the performances in this movie were very stellar. A lot of really great performances. The one, like even a small thing like Brooke having a tear come down her eye as a gun is pointed at her. because I thought about it and I'm like, you would absolutely start to cry if someone was pointing a gun at your face. And that never happens in these movies. So oftentimes there's a gun whipped out and you're like, hey man, don't do it. Don't do it. Nah, man, if there's a gun in your face, you're gonna tear up some. And so like that performance was really believable. I thought Andre and her had solid chemistry from what I could understand of what he was saying. But yeah, the biggest complaint is I'm no linguistic expert. I am not a I'm not
What?
I'm
It's a surprise to all of
Man,
us.
don't
Here's
sell
the thing,
yourself
man.
short, buddy.
I've been
I'm here
too
to support you.
I've been too busy throughout my life dipping
Bread.
bread balls in chocolate milk to learn English well. And so when we start
I think
getting
you mean
some
learn English good.
when we start getting those thick accents, it's nice because it's believable.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's also like, hey, like I'm gonna be watching this movie with the closed captions. So, which is fine, you know, if that's where it was obviously very believable. They clearly did it there. They clearly got actors from France, and so that's great. But yeah, and you know, the person who did it, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I just didn't see Virgil St. James as being the killer, but I actually thought that the story that they told made sense and was believable. So overall, I thought it was a solid mystery. I would say if we do another one of these, just help us out a little bit.
Yeah.
Help us little guys out a little bit. But aside from that, really, really solid work. Dan?
Because the mysteries tend to follow even more of a formula than Hallmark movies, I tend to like look at these and go, does it distinguish itself? Was the mystery interesting or hard to solve? And would I want another one? Those are the three questions that I ask. This movie does distinguish itself because it is as French a movie as you could possibly air on Hallmark, the Hallmark Mystery Channel here in America. Like, these people are not Quebec French. They are like from Paris French, and sometimes that means they're hard to understand, but it does feel like you're in France solving a mystery. I also did not see this murderer coming, and not only did I not see the murderer coming, but it's there for you to solve. So it's not a situation where they just bring in somebody and you're like, surprise, this doesn't make sense because we've not told you the information you need. This is a killer who's on screen a lot, who you could put the pieces together as to why they would be motivated to murder these folks. They give themselves up a bit easy, neither here nor there. The only thing I will say is I don't really need another one of these. Nothing about this movie was like, I'd like to see more of these. I thought Brooke was great. She gets to do some things that I think they've not letting her do like for years on Hallmark Channel. The crying, especially the way she does that. She's amazing in this movie. The two leads aren't like the chemistry there, and what they could do in future movies does not interest me. And so I got a little bogged down when they were trying to make that stuff work, but the mystery itself and the distinction of it being Paris does work. So a better than an average mystery, not as good as the Deloach Ayers kids solving the case one to me though. So not the best one of the year, but better than average, I'd say.
Yeah.
Let's get to the feels. What gave us feels in this movie? Ryan?
Yeah, respect feels for Brooke. The rat scene, like I thought, like there was a rat that poked out, crawled on her shoulder. I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then it just kept going.
I'm just, dude,
all over.
To show you how much of a pro Brooke Dorsey is, they make it so where you can see it is not a stunt double.
Yeah.
There is, and it is not digital. There are rats, plural, crawling over her head and around her neck.
Yeah.
It is like,
yeah.
I don't know of how many Hallmark actors that would be willing to do that scene.
Like really in it.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
It's impressive, and I'm glad that she gets the credit there because the camera doesn't turn away from it.
Yeah. So
Really
was,
impressive.
Yeah, it was impressive. So
That was mine too.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at us, rat bros.
Rat bros.
I obviously got like, oh, cool, oh, wow, feels when it was revealed that Virgil St. James was the murderer. But also like, oh, whoa, when she found that door that says danger on it and she opens it and it's stairs.
That was a surprise.
And like, should the police have found it when they stormed the place?
100%.
Absolutely,
Yes.
they should have.
Well, they had to get to lunch.
Like kind of cool, and
Very
like
cool.
makes like hey, we have this place. Imagine being someone who's in counterfeiting and finding a warehouse that has like this we could make it into a trap door that has an underground.
But
thing.
it's also something the Hallmark mystery movies typically don't do well. Is
Yeah.
like that twist is hiding in plain sight.
Right.
You should, the first time we watch that scene, we should be thinking, why isn't she even thinking maybe I should open this door that's clearly marked to not open? But we didn't think it. She didn't think it. That means it's a really good twist. If it's there in front of you and you don't think about it, that's really, really good.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll get to the wait what and the what the Hallmark here on Deck the Hallmark.
Back, baby.
I did get word from Harry that your half day was approved though, and there's no takesy backsies.
Oh
So-
man,
HR's real weird about approving days off. It
already
sometimes
came
takes
back.
them forever.
Yeah, sometimes until the day of.
man, what a waste.
Yeah.
Next time, I'm just not even gonna ask.
Well, that won't
can't
go
say
well.
that.
You won't like that. Let's get to the way what is where we talk about what in this movie made us go, wait, what? Yeah. Brian?
Yeah, Charlotte, when she was standing over the body, like, I feel like she got up there really fast because I feel like she was just sitting down watching the stage like moments ago. So, like, when she was up there, I was literally like, what? Like, how did she get up there so fast? Maybe
I did not think about that, but I do think now that you are right. That does seem like she was lightning quick.
Yeah.
Knew exactly how to get there.
Yes.
And was just so far ahead of everyone else.
Yes, it did not. It
Yeah.
just the timing there did not compute for me because they were just sitting very comfortably, like in their seats, way back in the stage, and then all of a sudden, so that was just like maybe they skipped ahead during editing. Some stuff got cut out. When the boss when they get to the empty warehouse and the chief is like, "You're gonna write a full report before you leave today." Right after that, she's like, "So what should we do?" And he's like, "Oh, let's go eat." Like, dude, you have a full report to work.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of work to do, and he's just flirty fun times. Let's go get some hot
Flirty
dogs.
fun time. Yeah.
Just no urgency there. And then
I would be the same way though.
Yeah,
if someone told me I had a
but
full
first
report,
we
right,
go-
like, I'll knock that out in 30 minutes. Let's go get some lunch. That's exactly.
actually their reports probably are pretty sparse.
Yeah.
So-
Those like, well, we were on
You got
the
a
stairs
template.
and in the
It's,
mirror.
just magic.
Croissant time. Yeah. Like that's.
They probably have a stamp that says
That's
croissant
true,
time, and
croissant
they
time.
just hit the
I
paper.
can't- In our world, French detectives take an hour out of their day for a siesta that they call croissant time. And I am
Yeah.
sorry
And it goes
if
in
you're
their
French
report.
and listening, but to us, croissant time is real.
Yeah.
I think that they're not going to be offended by that.
Okay.
Can you let us know when you get back if
I will.
they do?
I will.
If you notice any
Yeah, yeah,
croissant
yeah.
time,
I'll
they'll-
ask some British people about croissant time.
Yeah,
We'll see.
they would know better than
They would know. They're
You're
closer.
over there.
Proximity-wise.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Dulce,
the channel.
when they show up for that lease gotcha, where he's like, I got your signature on the lease.
Yeah.
Like, Dulce is like, that's not mine. I deny all of it. I kind of wish that instead of them doing it that way, where Dulce is like, that's not my signature, wrong, like it's a forgery. I wish the detective who grew up in a family of forgers figured it out. Like, I don't feel like he did a lot of solving anything. Like,
Yeah.
everything was presented to them.
He did barely any work.
They
hardly
did
anywhere.
load the gun that he's from a family of forgers, and at
Yes.
some point you think he's going to use that
Something.
ability.
Yes.
And he just refuses to.
Nothing. And even Diane,
Yeah.
I watched it with my wife. She's like, so he's involved, right? Because it's
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
that would be a
Could
great
be.
twist. Like,
Great twist.
But no, he didn't use any of his forgery
He
skills.
does hit the forger with a car, though, and I think that's
He forged forward with his car.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
right.
I see what,
that's
yeah.
what he
Nicely
meant.
done. Nicely
That's
done.
what he meant. Is that it?
I'm afraid it is.
Oh.
Nice, dude.
It's a callback for literally 4 other people.
Like
Of
from weeks ago.
business meeting. Yes.
Here's a few that I have. One is when she has a great first session with Virgil. It goes very well.
Yeah.
And I found what she did there to be relatively believable, aside from the fact that you're just standing up. But whatever. Before the actual...
He should have been laying down.
Or sitting, she just walks up and she's like, now's the time.
Sure.
Yeah. What's the worst that could? It was a very relaxed therapy session. But what she does right before the fashion show is he's like kind of getting a little bit nervous, and she just goes, "Look at my finger. Look at my finger. Look at my finger." Is that a psychology trick?
Focusing on something small
Look at my finger.
to calm your mind for
Don't-
things that are bigger is is probably. But
Okay.
Look at my finger sounds like something you do to like a 4-year-old.
I felt like she was doing it.
It's like my kid
pull
hates
my
the-
finger.
my-
Pull my
Don't do
finger.
it.
My
Don't
kid
do
hates
it.
the hiccups, and so I make up a trick every time. And the trick is just getting him to think about something else.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll just be like, he's like, Dad, I have the hiccups. I don't want them anymore. I'm like, so you need to hold your right hand in the air, and your
Yeah.
left hand needs to pat your leg.
Yeah.
But you got to go really fast.
Super
and like,
fast.
You just
Faster.
get him concentrated on something else, and then he forgets about the hiccups. He'll figure it out one day.
There
Punch him in the
is-
stonk. That's
Yeah.
the trick.
I do that. I did the scare. I put on like
Yeah.
a really scary mask.
Oh boy, how'd that go?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Why'd you have a scary mouse?
I don't have one.
Oh.
He just looked at him funny.
Because your face. 'Cause of your
You got that
face.
scream clip?
Oh yeah, we got a live look in. Aaron, thank you.
So good.
It is really good.
Great clip.
She goes to talk to this model that, listen, I know, you know, in the day and age of influencers, we
Yeah.
would know this better than anybody, but you need a good ring light. You need a good
You
ring
need a great
light,
ring
and,
light,
you gotta make sure you're lit at all times. I don't know how
That's Brand's personal model.
You need the
Brian
light
and I, we've been
and-
trying to get him off the sauce for
Yeah,
years.
100%.
He's just so
But
lit.
Brand's like, you need to be lit all the time.
All the time.
I don't know
The
how
age of the ring light.
I don't know how important it is though to bring your ring light to the middle of the streets,
Outside,
which is
yeah.
what
Like
she
sunlight,
does.
yeah.
Lee
But-
Hodo, there's a bigger cut here of you need to be lit all the time. I don't sleep on queens. Like all those things
Yeah.
together. I
Pull
think
that
you could
together,
get-
yeah.
Yes.
Middle of the street ring light is all I'm trying to say.
The lit ring light.
3. Pretty convenient for her to sneak into the dead woman's house, and the first picture frame she looks behind has the USB on it.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
nice. You gotta love when
Yeah.
that happens. The beginning of this movie's a lie.
Yep.
Right.
We at the beginning of this movie, we are forced to believe that there is a gunshot as he points the gun right at her. Turns out he gets hit by a car before that can happen. Just a downright lie. And my final one, I had as it was revealed that Virgil St. James is the murderer is, you remember earlier in the movie where Charlotte was telling the story of how she saw somebody come down the stairs before she went up, and that could be the murderer. She wouldn't have recognized Virgil
That's right.
St. James.
That's right. Yeah.
Even if he's wearing something where you can't.
Yeah.
That's like you.
Maybe that wasn't the murderer. Remember-
Maybe it was
Yeah.
anyone
Could have
else.
been, but it wasn't.
They do
Could have
this.
been what it wasn't.
Yeah, could have been. But
Yeah.
I was like, she works side by side with Virgil St. James. Even if Virgil St. James has something over his face, you would know, right? You would know that
Yeah.
it'd be like me coming into work, Dan walking out of the office with a mask over my head and being like, I don't know, who could that be? Who could that be?
Been anybody.
Could have been anyone. Dan?
Yeah, so in Hallmark mysteries, a lot of times the killer gives himself up, in my opinion, way too quickly. Not that I've ever murdered anyone, but not that I've ever.
Right.
But if you had,
I think
you had-
Virgil
yeah.
St. James takes the cake. Look, you've murdered 2 people. There are so many reasons that you could be at that warehouse and that your brooch was there. Like, you wouldn't at least, all he has to do is walk downstairs and go, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all he has to do.
Yeah.
And Brooke's going to be like, what are you doing here? He's like, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I came back to this warehouse. They're making, forgeries of my bag.
Yeah.
Somebody took my brooch. It would be very easy. But he sees her down there and he's like, guess I got to pull up my gun. Like, what? Why not?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Like, there are so many good reasons for the killer to be there and not immediately confess like he's caught when he isn't caught yet. So that was a pretty big one for me. There's a lot of times they try to inject humor in this movie, and they are almost always poorly done. And it's not because the actors aren't capable. It's because the music is playing very murdery vibes. Someone's just been murdered, and then they're doing a bit about how Brooke can't pronounce this guy's last name, even though the name is the easiest name in the movie. So that was a little weird. When Brooke is working at this Virgil St. James's place, they give her a tiny desk to work at. She is sitting at a desk where everyone that walks by, she's below their waist. All of them. Someone drops off papers and it is like Gulliver's Travels. Like she is very, very low and everyone else is very, very high. Could have fixed that. When she gets to Paris, this person's like, all you ever wear is beige and black. This is Paris. You need to really like mix up your wardrobe. And Brooke does that by wearing one other color the rest of the movie, and it is red. She wears shades of red and beige and black. Literally, she adds one color. She doesn't do any, I assumed if you point out her fashion, they're going to make her dress in all kinds of different colors. Yeah. It's all red all the time, the rest of the movie. That is how you know it's not beige or black, because it is red. And then lastly, Virgil St. James wears a pair of gloves in this movie, and I don't know what fashion. I don't know anything about fashion. I wear the same shirt every day. One hand of these gloves has holes for the fingertips. The other hand does not. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine wearing that pair of gloves or that being fashionable. I can't.
That's his shooting hand.
It's one too many. It's his shooting hand. Exactly. He wants to make sure his fingerprints get on that gun.
That's right. That's exactly right. We have one more segment.
We sure do. That's right. No, we didn't.
We have not done it.
I have not put in a half day. Don't.
No.
I'm doing the full show. I'm doing the full show, Harry. You get over there.
But I'll push through policy too. So like you don't want to take any more time.
No, I don't.
No, you got to save that.
Accrue that.
It's time for the What the Hallmark is, where we wonder what could have been. Maybe have it gives them clarity to any questions that we still have. Brian, I know you're wondering a lot of things. Try to narrow it down for us.
Okay. The thing that I can't get off my mind, when the Eclair cream shot out.
Eclair?
Eclair.
The Eclair?
It's an Eclair. Okay. The Eclair.
I just been shot with an Eclair.
Yeah. Like, where did they get the Eclair cream cannon?
Please say Eclair.
And how much did it cost? I'm just asking for a friend.
It's not Eclair you found online.
Eclair. Cream
the amount of cream that shot out of that Eclair.
So much.
It was
Eclair
fully loaded.
cream.
It was a fully loaded. Hey, could I get an Eclair fully loaded?
I saw fully loaded Eclair live. They were unbelievable.
Yeah, I've heard that about them.
Yeah. I mean, mine is as much as I talked about how it was, she opens the door and I'm like, oh, wow. I don't know. I don't believe that all of the forgery stuff could fit in. How big's the room?
Yeah.
Is this a full?
It seemed like it went another floor down, but
does it go like all the way underneath this warehouse? Is it just one room? Because there was a lot of forgery stuff. And the room that we see, as far as I can tell, wasn't crazy big.
No.
But, it was like stacked to the brim with boxes.
It would not have been able to hold 20% of what was in that.
It was a full warehouse full of.
That's right.
The only way that it would work is if it also has a basement of the same square footage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like that's, a mirror. Yeah. But I don't know. What I saw, I was unsure of how big is this underground bunker.
I love it.
Dano?
Mine's also food related. And this is a
about
question.
The Eclair?
Maybe it's not about the Eclair. Maybe this could be answered by someone that's been to Paris. Do they have hot dog street vendors in Paris? Hot dog street vendors in Paris. You're walking down the street of the most famous food town in the world, and there's somebody selling dogs.
Hey, listen, it happens in New York. New York is known for
New York's
food
known
too.
for their hot dogs.
It's true.
Like, I can imagine it happening in London. In Paris, are there hot dog street vendors? Because they imply heavily that there are. Aaron?
Hi, Aaron.
I don't remember a single hot dog street vendor when I was in Paris.
What about the croissants, though?
Everywhere.
Is there croissant time?
Everywhere.
Croissant time?
The whole country shuts down. For
Thank you. I knew it. Thank you. I knew it.
Makes sense.
But I just can't imagine Paris and the highfalutin nature of Paris having hot dog cars just like on the street corner.
Well, that neighborhood where that warehouse was pretty shady. So maybe that's the area of town where you find the hot dogs.
He was like, you're eating a hot dog. We would never do that in Paris. Where do you think she got it, Slick? It was clearly from a vendor, a street hot dog vendor. So there you go. That's all I got.
We did, everybody.
We did it.
Congratulations. We'll be back tomorrow with another one. We're really looking forward to that. Until then.
Until then.
May we be the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Hallmark's The Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.